Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to all the students. Jazakumullah for those who arrived early. Please, are you just, sorry, we were just waiting to start our class, and now the class is just beginning. Can I have a student at the mic to do the daily dua entry?
Assalamu alaikum everyone. G2746, please unmute yourself.
G2746. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Jazakallah. Would you like to start the class? Go ahead and recite A'udhu.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Jazakallah. Would you like to recite the translation as well, please?
I seek refuge with Allah from Satan the rejected.
And while we recite Ta'awuz before reciting the Holy Quran, Allah tells us in chapter 16, verse 99, and when thou recitest Quran, seek refuge with Allah from Satan the rejected. And the translation for Tasmiyah?
In the name of Allah the Gracious, the Merciful.
And reciting Bismillah before every deed invokes the blessings of Allah upon that deed. It is sunnah to recite it before every good deed. Jazakallah. Okay, on to Thursday's dua. Go ahead and would you like to recite it yourself?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Allahumma in as'aluka ilman nafi'a.
Go ahead and read the translation. G2746. Can you hear me? I think we may have lost G2746. Okay, so I'll read the translation. Oh Allah, I ask you for beneficial knowledge. Ibn Majah, hadith number 925. Hadith is the saying of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A hadith, plural of hadith, have been collected together and recorded. The above dua can be found in a collection known as Sunan Ibn Majah. Okay, Jazakallah. Okay, so we're quickly going to run through the class etiquettes, and the class etiquettes are, as you must all be familiar with by now. You should all be in ablution. You must have done wudu. You should be wearing clean clothes. Your head should be covered. And it is really important that you should be sitting in a quiet place. And sometimes students aren't sitting in a quiet place. And it's very important that while you're reciting the Holy Quran, you're sitting in a quiet place and you are able to concentrate. It's also important that a parent is present. That way your learning can be aided as well. And it's also important to use the correct ID. So if you'd like to be called to the mic, you have to be using the correct ID in order to be called to the mic. Will be taking place on Friday, the 25th of February at 6 p.m. And this is the program, and you can see first there's Tilawat, then translation, Hadith, and translation, Nadam, and then translation and prophecy and speeches, inshallah. So students are invited to submit recordings by Monday, the 14th of February by 9 p.m. The email in which to send your submissions is ukquranClass@gmail.com. Please ensure you state activity, student ID, and G2 jumps in subject box. So I'll just quickly run through this and just give you some idea of what you should be doing. I'm sure you've all seen this before. Tilawat is Surah Al-Jumu'ah, and it's verses 1 to 5. And so make sure you say Tilawat before you say your recording, when you're submitting the recording. Make sure you say Tilawat, your name, student ID, and G2 at the beginning of the recording. And also make sure in your email, you write Tilawat, your name, student ID, and G2 just on the subject box of the email. So when we the topic should be Tilawat, your name, student ID, and G2 just in the subject box of the email. Okay, and so the same goes for the Tilawat translations. As you can see down here, it gives you instructions on how to break those recordings. So in this instance, you would say Tilawat translation, your name, the student ID, and G2 at the beginning of the recording. And again, the same thing, you have to write Tilawat translation and the name, student ID, and G2 jump out in the subject box of the email. So again, this is the hadith, and the same applies here. So you have the instructions beneath the hadith. Beneath each of the text, you have the instructions how you should be doing the recording and submitting. In this case, it's to be all of them. So it's not just a couple of verses.
We can't hear you properly.
Okay. Now?
A little bit better now.
Is that better? Can you hear me? I'll try to speak louder. Hopefully you'll be able to
Yes,
hear
that's
me. Is that
better.
good? Yeah, okay, that's fine. I'll just try to be much louder as well. Okay, so you can see that there are instructions. You can read underneath here, you can see what the instructions are and how to submit your recording. And it's self-explanatory. So over here, in this case, what they've done is they've just given you the prophecy. This is just an excerpt of the prophecy. And the whole prophecy will be read on the Jalsa, but for the purpose of selected students, we'd like this above excerpt recorded and submitted. So all you have to do is record just this bit of the prophecy, but it will be a longer text. And again, the instructions are there as to how you are to submit it. And again, the English speech, these are the two topics for the English speech. And Hazrat Muslim Anhu's childhood and Hazrat Muslim Anhu's visit to London. And you can record your speech, make sure you say your title, your name, your student ID, and G2. The rest of it's quite self-explanatory. If you do have any questions or any queries, you could send your questions and queries to uk.girls@gmail.com. Okay, on to another announcement. So as you must be aware by now, in this half term, which is next week, just please be reminded that next week is half term and there will be no G2 classes. So classes will restart on the 21st of February. Okay, so the class schedule for today is as follows. So we've just done the assembly. Today we'll be doing a quiz as the rule in focus. The practice text will be as Al-Ghashiyah, chapters 16 to 27, and then we'll be reciting the practice until the finish of the class, and then there will be homework and announcements and. Okay, so on to our quiz. We'll get straight to that. Hopefully you can hear me well. I'm not sure. But support teacher, would you like to start the quiz? I'll hand over to my support teacher and she'll be doing the quiz too.
Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you're all very excited for our quiz today. So during the quiz, we will be revising all the rules that you have learned previously. So just give me a minute and I will share my screen.
While the support teacher is doing that, I'd just like to remind you to fill out the attendance form for today as well, please. It's been posted in the chat box.
And also please use your correct IDs to log in. Jazakallah. Can you see my screen now? Yes, so I'll quickly tell you how we will practice the quiz today. So you will see the questions displayed on your screens. Each question will have 4 options. The poll will come on your screens and you can select the option you think is correct and then press the submit button at the bottom of the poll. Please make sure you attempt the quiz yourself and do not take any help from your friends or your family members. Once all of you have answered, we will reveal the correct answer. So I hope you're all ready now. Let's go. So the first question is, Fatha, Kasra, and Dhamma are known as short stretch, long stretch, letters, or short vowels. Can we please have the poll now? Can we have the results, please?
So majority of our students have said the short vowels at 56% and the short stretch at 56%.
Okay, let's check. That is the right answer. And the second answer you've given is short stretch, which is also correct. So well done. You got both of them right. Moving on to question 2. How much time should short stretch take? 2 counts, as long as you want. 3 counts, 1 count.
Most of our students have said 1 count.
Let's check if that's correct. Well done. That is the right answer. Question 3. What is a letter that carries a fatha or vertical fatha called? Kaf, madmoom, maftu, or maksur?
And most of our students at 73% have said maftu.
Let's check. Excellent. That is correct. The next question. What is a letter that carries a kasra or vertical kasra called? Munawwan, maksur, madmu, or kaf?
And most of our students at 69% have said maksub.
Maksur, shall we check that? Excellent, that is the right answer. The next question is, what is a letter that carries a zamma or inverted zamma called? A kaf, a maftu, a sin, or a madmoom?
Yeah, excellent. Our students are learning well. So 87% have said maksub.
Wow, 87% are correct. Well done. Next question. Vertical fatha, vertical kasra, and inverted zamma are known as a long stretch, ishbaya, long vowels, or tanween. So there can be more than one answers as well. So think carefully for this one.
Okay, so we have long stretch at 45%, ishaya at 32%, long vowels at 47%, and tanween at 19%.
Excellent. So actually, this question has multiple answers. So these are called long stretch, ishbaya, and long vowels as well. Our next question is, what is a letter that carries a tanween called? Is it a madmoom, a maftu, a munawwan, or a maksur?
Okay, I think we have a definitive answer here. 91% of our students are saying no one.
Wow, 91% are absolutely correct. Well done. Next question, what does tanween mean? Make a nasal sound, read the letter twice, make a clear sound, stress on the letter.
Okay, Jazakallah. And make a nasal sound is at 67%.
Let's check. That's absolutely correct. Well done. Next question. What is the name of this symbol? Shadda, Mushaddad, Tajdeed, or Waw?
Okay, and 66% of our students have said Shadda.
Shadda. That is correct. And our next question is, what do you have to do here? Join the letters, stress on the scene, spend 2 counts on the kasra, stress on the jeen. Again, it can have multiple answers as well.
Okay, 70% of our students have said join the letters and 35% have said stress on the G.
Let's see. So join the letters, that's absolutely correct. And stress on the gene, both are correct. So well done. How many dals are actually here? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Okay, so 58% of our students have actually said 1.
1. Shall we check that? No, that's not the right answer. Can I have what the second majority answer is?
2.
2. So let's check that. Excellent. So these are actually 2 dals here. Next question. What is ghunna? Is it a sustained nasal sound, a clear sound, another name for noon, or another name for ghain?
And 79% of our students have said a sustained nasal sound.
Let's check. Excellent. That is correct. You are doing really well, all of you. So our next question is, how much time should you spend on ghunna? 1 count, as short as possible, not less than 2 counts, or 3 to 5 counts.
Okay, I think that's a clear answer here. So 73% of our students have said not less than 2 counts.
And they are absolutely correct. Well done. Next question is, where do you make ghunna? Is it at a sakin meme, a sakin noon, mim and noon, or mim mushaddad and noon mushaddad?
Okay, wonderful. So 77% have said noon mushaddad and noon mushaddad.
Let's check. Excellent, that is correct. What do you do when reading normal elongation? Do you read it for 1 count, prolong for 2 counts, prolong for 3 to 5 counts, prolong for 4 to 6 counts?
Okay, so read it for 1 count is coming at 44%.
Let's check that. Oh, that's not correct. Can I have the second answer?
Prolong for 2 counts is coming in at 40%.
Is it 40%? Let's check if 40% are correct. And they are. Well done. So for normal elongation, you have to prolong it for 2 counts. Moving on to our next question. Which of these are examples of normal elongation? Is it the first, second, and fifth, the third, fourth, and fifth, the first, fourth, and fifth, or the second, third, and fifth? So look carefully at all the options and then select one.
Okay, we have 2, 3, and 5 at 37%.
Let's check. That is correct. Well done. Our next question. Alif mad is when? So which of these is an example of alif mad? Is it when alif comes straight after a letter carrying a fatha? A sakin alif comes straight after a letter carrying a fatha, a blank alif, or when alif is preceded by consonant carrying stroke of fatha?
Okay, so alif comes straight after letter carrying a fatha is at 47%.
Let's check. That is correct. Well done. And can I have the second answer as well, please?
Second answer is sakin alif comes straight after letter carrying a fatha.
No, that's not correct.
Next one is alif is preceded by consonant carrying stroke of fatha.
And that is correct as well. Well done. So this question had 2 correct answers. Moving on to our last question. Waw mad is when? Is it when waw bears a sukoon? Sakin waw is preceded by consonant carrying stroke of zamma. Sakin waw comes straight after letter carrying a zamma, or waw carries a kasra.
So sakin waw is preceded by a consonant carrying stroke is at 69%.
Excellent. That is absolutely correct. And which is the second option that was chosen?
Waw comes after letter carrying a dhamma.
Excellent. So they're both correct answers. Well done. I hope all of you enjoyed the quiz and learned something from it as well. Jazakallah for participating. I will now hand over to our day teacher.
For that. I hope you all enjoyed that quiz, and it's a really good way to revise what you've been learning so far. I hope you can all hear me clearly. I am trying my best, and I'm very sorry if you can't hear me very well. But okay, on to the next part of our class. So the next part of our class today is the practice session of the text of Surah Al-Ghashiyah. And Surah Al-Ghashiyah is a Meccan surah. It's the part number 30 and chapter number 88. The number of verses in this surah are 27. The number of rukus are 1, and the order of revelation is 58. Okay, and there's something special about this surah. At the end of this surah, there is a mustahab response during tilawah at the end of verse 27. So we'll go on to practicing it, and hopefully I'll be able to tell you a bit more about that. So, support teacher, can I have a student for Mike?
G2716, please unmute yourself.
2716, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Oh, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you? Are you okay?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Are you ready to read?
Yes.
Go ahead. So we're going to be starting from here. This is verse.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम, आपकी आवाज बहुत दूर से आ रही है.
I'm trying my best to fix that, but unfortunately I don't know what's going wrong. I hope you can hear me better. I'll speak louder, as loud as I can, and hopefully you'll be able to hear me better. So I'm really sorry there's a mic problem today.
Now I can hear you.
Hear me? Okay, that's fine. Jazakallah. And I'll try to speak as loud as I can. Hopefully that should help. Okay. So we're going to be starting.
What? No. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن.
Okay, G2716.
Yes.
Can you hear me? G2716.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and recite again. I think what I'll do is I'll recite in the first instance, and then you can recite from the next verse. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so you can just copy me. Okay. Wanama. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? G2716.
Yes.
Okay, so if you repeat after me. Wanama. Riqu.
Riku.
Masfu. Masfu. Can you hear me? G2716.
Yes.
Okay. So masfufa.
No.
Fufa. Can you see this is a sword and this is a fu, a fa here. So masfufa. Okay. So we read it slowly. Fa. Okay. Masfufa. Okay. Wazara. Biyu. Mabthu. Can you hear me, G2716? I'm not sure if it's my mic. I'm sorry, just 1 second. Support teacher, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you quite clearly.
Okay, Jazakallah. Okay. Mabthutha. Okay, Jazakallah. G2716. You read really well. Carry on. You're reading. You're learning very well as well. I can hear. I can just about hear you. Sometimes I can hear you, and sometimes I can't. So, inshallah, hopefully you'll get another go, inshallah. So, Jazakallah 2716.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz, Jazakallah. Okay, I'm a support teacher. Can I have another student to the mic, please?
G2704, please unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Okay, so shall we get reading? If you start from here, over here.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أفلا ينظرون إلى الإبل كيف خلقت.
Okay, mashallah, you read very well. Okay, just make sure that so each stroke that we've learned, we'll just make sure that we recite them according to the elongation that's due. So for this one here, this is what's this lam? What stroke does this lam carry?
It's a dhamma.
This one here. Sorry, one second. This one here.
Kasra.
Okay, and how long do we recite kasra for?
1 count.
Okay, just make sure that while you're reciting, you don't elongate them for more than they need to. This here is for 2 seconds, okay? So,
Okay.
kaifa, okay?
Kaifa
Yeah, okay. Khuliqat.
khuliqat.
Yeah, okay. Over here, you can see a little word that says vaqf, which means in this case, we do a short pause of about 1 second. I know we're stopping at the end of the verse anyway, but in this case, you have to do pause as well as mindfully. Okay, so keep going.
Wa ila samai kaifa rufi'at.
Okay. That's very well read, and I've noticed you read this very well as well. You could elongate that slightly longer. So what happens when we're reciting, we don't realize how long that we can recite for in terms of the seconds. So this one here. Do you know how long we recite this for?
I think it's 5 seconds.
Okay, brilliant. So 5 to 7 seconds according to the recitation.
Okay.
So yeah, it's quite long. So just remember, you did recite it for quite long, but it has to be between 5 and 7 seconds, and that's quite long. So, okay. This letter here, how do you pronounce that letter?
From your throat.
Well done. Okay. And how do you say it? If you could sound it for me.
Rufi'at.
Yeah, so, okay, this letter has to sound a bit different to this one here. This is an alif, and this is an ayn. So in this case, let's compare it to this one that carries a fatha above here. Can you see that one? That's
Yeah.
a, but this one here is an a. Do you notice the tightness in my throat? Try that again, one more time. A. That's better. So if you just practice that again and again, once you've picked it up phonetically, you're able to recite it quite well. So in your practice session, or when you're reciting the Holy Quran, you can focus on one rule at a time or changing one thing at a time. If you focus on its ayn and the correct pronunciation, you will get it better in no time. So rufi'at.
Rufi'at.
It has to be quite strong. At. Okay, and it has to sound different to the alif here, which is also a maftu alif, yes? A and a. Rufi'at.
Yeah.
Okay, and all students, while we're practicing this, every thing that we practice, all students should be following on screen and should also be practicing the things that we're practicing as well. Okay, Jazakallah, carry on if you want to go ahead.
وَإِلَى الْجِبَالِ كَيْفَ نُصِبَتْ.
Okay, so when we're reciting the elongations, we just need to make sure that we're doing them for the right length of time. This one here, I'm sure you know how long that's for. How long do we recite this one for?
2 seconds.
Okay, and do you want to try that again? So start from here again and go ahead and recite it.
وَإِلَى الْجِبَالِ كَيْفَ نُصِبَتْ.
Much better. Okay, so you've got to remember that 2 seconds is a stretch. It's an extra stretch, and it's slightly longer than, say, this jim here or this lam here. So al-jibali, Kaifa. So you can see these two are 2 seconds wrong, and you do need to do them for the appropriate length, okay? Nusibat, okay?
Okay.
Okay, keep going. Next verse as well. You could do the next one.
وَإِلَى الْأَرْضِ كَيْفَ سُطِحَتْ.
Okay, well done. Okay. وَإِلَى الْأَرْضِ كَيْفَ سُطِحَتْ. Okay, so when we're reciting these here, this is a madalin. I'm not sure if you've learned this, but this is 2 second elongation here. And other than that, mashallah, you read very well. You are sticking to all of the rules that you've learned so far. And so jazakallah. Thank you. Okay, jazakallah, G2
Jazakallah.
4. Jazakallah for your recitation. Can I have another student, please?
Yes, G2693, please unmute yourself.
G2693, assalamu alaikum. G2693.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Okay, so would you like to read from here onwards? Yeah? Would you like my help?
No, thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Okay. Hello? G2693, can you hear me?
فذكر إنما أنت مذكر.
Okay, well done. You're reading very, very well. And there's so many rules here, and you read them very well. Okay, in this verse here, there's a qaf and a fa just here. This means a short pause, but you continue. So you do a short pause, and it has to be quite clear and distinct, but you continue as well. So this is how you recite this verse. فَذَكِّرْ إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُذَكِّرْ. Yeah? That off here, it indicates a short pause. So would you like to read it again?
فذكر إنما أنت مذكر.
Okay, mashallah, very, very well read. Okay, can you just remind me what the rule this one is here? So you can see a noon, and what does it carry above it? What strokes does it have above the noon?
مشدد.
Yes, well done. So this is a mushaddad noon. And what happens in the case of a mushaddad noon when you see one?
You join it and stretch it.
Okay, well done. Yes, you do join it. That's correct. But there's also a nasalization. So in order for you to do that nasalization, you have to hold on to the noon. There are 2 noons here in this case, and you hold on to say the first one. So it would be inna rather than inna. It's inna. Can you see the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah, so inna, and in order to send the sound into your nasal passage, when we say inna, your nose vibrates. You can touch your nose and you'll feel the vibration. That has to occur for 2 seconds. If you don't do it for 2 seconds, it won't be a nasalization. So if you try that again, inna. Yeah, that's how we do noon mushaddad and meen mushaddad. So remember, nasalization occurs on 2 letters only, and this is a noon mushaddad here and this meen mushaddad here. Okay, so do you want to go ahead and read that again? Innama anta mudhakkir.
إنما أنت
Dhakkir. Dhakkir.
مذكر.
Yes, okay, so this sound is a tricky sound, this one here. This zal is not a za sound, it's a zal sound. Like when we say the, this is that sound. So the. Would you like to say that?
The.
Okay, your tongue touches the top, the bottom part of your top teeth, yeah? مذكر.
Mudakir.
It's better, okay. So keep going. Go ahead and read. Okay, over here you'll see an exception here. And you can see that while you're reciting, you'll see sometimes you a scene or a sword. In this case, you read the sword, you don't read the scene. Sometimes you'll see that. And there are certain instances where you have to read a certain way. In this case, it's the sword. Just read the sword, not the scene. Okay, go ahead.
Lasta alayhim bim
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, I'll help you and we can read together. So you can see this ba here. Before it, there's a meme sucking. You just have to hold on to the meme for a second because of that bar. But in this case, just keep your eye here. This is a sword, okay? Lasta alayhim bimusaytir.
Lasta alayhim bimasayhim
Bimusaytir.
bimasayhim here.
Clear. So you can see this is a ball over here because there's so many rules here, it's so tricky. But it's okay. So this is how you're learning by practicing it. So over here, this letter here is a ball. Clear. Yeah?
Yeah.
So if you'd like to say that quickly, clear.
12.
It's yeah. So what you do is you make it sound really thick in your mouth. Clear.
12.
Okay, so there's not a slight W sound, it's just a fur sound, like a T-A-U. Yeah? Okay, bimusaytir.
bimasayhim
Okay, that's fine. Okay. Do you want to read this last verse as well?
illa man
Okay, it's fine because some of these words are tricky. So, illa manta.
illa mantar
Okay, this here is an ikhfa sound, so it's a partially hidden noon. Manta. It's not a man, it's manta. Okay. Illa manta walla.
illa man tawalla
Wa kafar.
wa kafar.
Okay, Jazakallah. Jazakallah G2693, you read really well. Keep practicing. I've also noticed you said that I'm very, very well, so keep on practicing that. Jazakallah.
Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Okay, support teacher, can we have another student to the mic?
G2674, please unmute yourself.
G2674. Assalamu alaikum. G2674. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Would you like to read?
Yeah.
Go ahead, start from.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
From here, so we're reading from.
فيعذبه الله العذاب الأكبر.
Okay, keep reading, and I'll make your corrections later on. Go ahead.
Inna ilayna iyabahum summa inna alayna hisabahum.
Jazakallah. Okay, so G2674. What as we're reciting, make sure you say the correct letters. So, for example, the strokes. Over here you have an ishbaya, and we've just practiced and revised. Ishbaya is recited for how long? This stroke here.
2 counts.
Okay, and do you think you read this for 2 counts? Yeah? Okay, so what happens while we're writing, sometimes we think we've done it and actually we haven't. So just bear in mind, when you see all these short vowels, they're 1 second and these ones are 2 seconds long. So there should be a difference between the 1 second and the 2 second elongation. So let me just read that to you. فَيُعَذِّبُهُ اللَّهُ الْعَذَابَ الْأَكْبَرُ. So you have the ishbaya here, which is more than 1 second. It's 2 second count, okay? Over here, you can see this mushaddad noon over here. Yeah, can you tell me what happens with the mushaddad noon?
Nasal sound.
Well done, excellent. Yes, you're correct. So in this case, to make the nasal sound, how long do we recite this letter for?
2 counts.
Okay, and how would you do that? Could you recite that for 2 counts? So remember, we're reciting the noon for 2 counts. So go ahead and try that.
Inna.
MashaAllah. Okay, you did very, very well. And the same applies to this letter. What is this letter here?
Amim.
And it carries a shadda. What does that make it? A mim mushaddad. And in this case, what's the rule for the mim mushaddad? How long do we recite it for?
2 counts.
Okay, brilliant. So you do know, you're aware. So while reciting these, pay attention to the rules. You've learned them very well. So pay attention to trying to apply them. Okay, could you try this verse again? But bear in mind all of the rules. So this one's 2 seconds. This one is also 2 seconds. And this one is for 3 to 5 seconds. This one is also for 2 seconds. Try these rules. Go ahead and let's see if you can recite that again.
Inna ilayna iyabahum.
Okay, mashallah, you did well. Okay, so sometimes what happens is that we think that we're reciting it for 2 seconds. Sometimes it becomes longer than 2 seconds. And there has to be a difference between the 2 second and the 3 or more second ones as well. So in this case, ensure to do it for just 2 seconds. So ilay and then na. You can see the difference between the 2 elongations, can't you? They are different. So this is shorter. This is a 2 second elongation. That's a 3 second elongation. Over here, we have another 2 second elongation. So I'm trying not to prolong it for more than 2 seconds. Yeah, that's enough. Yeah. Do you want to try that again? So remember, there's different rules here. Let's see if you can try that one more time. Go ahead.
Inna ilayna iyabahum.
MashaAllah. Okay, you did very, very well. In this case, you just accidentally elongated the noon mushaddad that we were just revising. Just bear in mind there's no elongation after it because this only carries a fatha. So do you want to read from here again? So remember to apply the rule of mim mushaddad here. Go ahead and recite this. You have 2 rules, mim mushaddad and noon mushaddad. Go ahead.
Summa inna alayna hisabahum.
Okay, Jazakallah. So I'm just going to quickly read it for you so you can hear how it's supposed to be recited as well. Okay, you did very well. ثُمَّ إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا حِسَابَهُمْ. Yeah, so just remember to elongate for the correct amount of time. Okay, so when we finish this surah Al-Ghash. Yes.
Can my brother read?
At the moment, I have to teach you the response for this, and if there's not much time, inshallah, hopefully you'll be given in the next lesson, inshallah, in the next few lessons, inshallah. Okay. Jazakallah G2674. Jazakallah. Okay, students. So while we're reciting some of the Holy Quran, upon reciting some of certain responses. And in this case, when we come to the end of this surah, which is Surah Al-Ghashiyah, and this is verse number 27, when we hear this verse at the end, ثُمَّ إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا حِسَابَهُمْ, we do some preferred responses. Let me take you to the, oh, sorry. Okay, so over here, as you can see, let me just get to the right place here. Okay, so these are called mustahab, which means preferred responses. So there are some during tilawat that we do. For example, when you recite Surah Al-Fatiha, we say Ameen or Allahumma Ameen at the end of that verse. Or sometimes when we hear the name of the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we say Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in response. And other parts of the Quran require other responses, and sometimes they're repeated. But at the end of Surah Al-Ghashiyah, at the end of this verse, when we hear ثُمَّ إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا حِسَابَهُمْ, then this means then surely it is for us to call them to account, and that is when Allah is talking of Himself. Then we respond with the verse with Allahumma hasibna hisaban yasira. Oh Allah, give us easy reckoning. The Holy Prophet ﷺ and his companions used to express their inner feelings on reading or listening to certain verses of the Holy Quran in words of prayer, according to the subject matter. And this practice is still continued by readers who observe Sunnah. So whenever you hear the end of Surah Al-Ghashiyah, which is often recited in Jummah prayers or Eid prayers, we have to say, Allahumma hasibna hisaban yasira. Okay, Jazakallah for that. Okay, so that kind of helps. That we come to the end part and the conclusion of our class today. So we'll be doing the dua in a second. So the rule of presentation was mustahab. It wasn't a presentation, but when mustahab responsive during tilawat al-Quran is what I've just told you. The practice text was chapter 80, verses 16 to 27, and the homework is apply the rules we have revised so far in your daily tilawat. Pay attention to all the rules revised so far and talk about the presentation with your family. Okay, so we were supposed to do a presentation that was not done today. Instead, we did the quiz. Okay, so you can contact us. So you have all of this information on the drive, and you can contact us here. The email to contact us in any case is ukquran@gmail.com. Okay, can I have a student for the finishing dua, please?
G2645, please unmute yourself.
G2645, Assalamualaikum. G2645, Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Would you like to go ahead and read, or should I help you?
I'll do it on my own.
Go ahead.
Allahumma arhamni bil-Qur'anil azim waj'alhu li imaman wa nuran wa hudan wa rahmah.
Okay, Jazakallah, and the translation.
Oh Allah, have mercy on me through the Quran the Great, and make it for me the leader, the light, the guidance, and the mercy.
Okay, Jazakallah, Jazakallah G2645, Jazakallah. Okay, so that finishes our class for today. So Jazakallah to all students for joining our class today. Jazakumullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.